What's up? What's up? What's up, y'all? Welcome to my side of the closet. I'm your host, Just B.
And this is Blonde Mafia.
How y'all doing today? I don't know if it's night or day for y'all. I know it's night for us. So we just wanted to come out and say thank you. Thank you for all the listeners that listened to our first two episodes. That was a soft launch that we did. And we're so grateful. If we can reach just one person, that would be amazing. So we just wanted to say our thanks for these two episodes because we're moms and we're single women who are just trying to reach out and help as many people as we can. Just, talking about what is it that's in your closet that may be bothering you. We're telling you what's in our closet that bothered us and how we've dealt with it and eventually we're going to have guests on that want to share also and you can do it anonymously if you would like. Yeah.
So I just wanted to say, after listening to our first two raw, real episodes, I apologize to all two of you out there that listened to those unedited episodes. We hope to do better in the future. This was a long journey getting here, and we appreciate you listening. We are working on the content, and we hope that as we move forward, it just gets a little more professional and a little more entertaining.
So going into this, when I talked about it in episode one, how this kind of started, and this for us, I said that I was driving down the highway in Houston. And if some of y'all who are from Houston or from Texas, I was on 610 and Westheimer when I heard a voice, and no, I'm not crazy. I heard a voice saying podcast, and I literally was like, what? And it said podcast. And it was because all this time that, Blonde Mafia and we had been communicating through Facebook Messenger, never really speaking to each other, no phone calls, just audio messages. We started off with text messages and then audio messages. And I think the only time we actually FaceTime each other was our birthdays because we're October born.
Yeah, that's right. It was a good while before we actually, spoke live, and
Right.
that's a shout out to that, support group. I just wanna say that. I wanna mention it again for anyone that didn't listen to the first 2 episodes, and I think we only mentioned it once. The support group in Facebook, I've said it, you've said it, it really saved our lives, and finding each other was one of the best things that happened to each other, which, the Facebook group, again, is called Straight Wives of Gay Husbands, and if you know anyone or you haven't reached out or you need someone to talk to or you know someone that has had this happen to them, I highly recommend.
Right, right, right. Definitely. And I met some amazing people on there as well. Some strong women, some women that are, trying to figure it out and make their way. And that's okay because that's what we're here for. And like we said, anybody else that's struggling with anything in the closet, it could be you could sit in your closet and drink wine. Hell, I'm drinking wine right now.
Sounds pretty good right now.
Believe it or not, I'm pretty shy, y'all. I am shy.
And even
So
though she sounds like the live wire, and I sound all calm in the first 2 episodes, I'm actually the one not shy of public speaking. I don't know what's wrong with me.
So that one day, as I was driving down, I would always listen to Blonde Mafia's responses or just encouraging messages. We would encourage each other actually. And when it hit me in 2023. And y'all, it's 2025. So it literally took 2 years for us to actually do something. We never thought we could go this far. But you know what? I know everybody's not spiritual, but sometimes when God gives you a vision or a word, because I know it wasn't me. I know it wasn't me for sure. That because we wouldn't be here now, or just being able to experience just this friendship, that we have without me hearing this. And I called her and I said, "Hey, what if we did a podcast? Would you be my co-host? Would you do this with me?" And
And
she
I, of
was
course,
like,
immediately said yes. Yes,
"Yeah."
yes.
But look how long it took. Were we really ready then? I don't
Absolutely
think we
not.
were. Yeah, we weren't. We weren't ready. And actually, even going this far, after we did the first two episodes, y'all don't know. Like, I was so nervous. I was so nervous. The whole time, if you go back to listen to episode one and two, I was looking at a black wall.
I'm a witness, it's true.
And the producer said, he says, just look at me. Just talk to me. I'm your audience. Talk to me. I said, "Mm." and looked the other way. I was so nervous, I needed wine. I needed something to calm me down, and he says, "I'll be right back." And I'm like, "Alright, bet." And he comes back with a glass. It's a glass
A wine
with
glass.
a wine glass, water on the rocks. The man had water on the rocks. But you know what? I was so nervous. And for any of y'all that are going through what we went through, it's almost like that person kind of has a hold on you. I mean, I was so, so scared, and we had a great weekend. We had a great recording. And then, yet, when I got home, I wanted to quit. I wanted to quit. I was so nervous. And now it's like, you know what? I can't quit because when I look into the group and I see some women that are struggling, they're like, "Y'all, I don't know how I'm gonna get out." And I remember my friend saying, "If you could just make it over that mountain, if you could just crawl." And I didn't know if I was gonna make it. I just did not know because you're like thinking your whole life is done. Your whole life is over. Your holidays, the Christmas pictures and hell where you do with your spouse or your partner. All of that was over. Your world comes crashing down, or mine came crashing down. And it's like the person has a hold over you, but I couldn't give up. I couldn't give up because I seen what some of the ladies were writing, just pouring their hearts out. I said, "You know what? Imma put my big girl drawers on. Imma put my baddest wig on. Damn it, we about to do this, okay?" So this is where we are.
I think when you first came to me with the idea and I thought I was completely ready, I was still in therapy. Obviously, I was still in therapy because we discussed this idea 2 years ago. But I really thought, I'm a tough girl. I can talk about anything. I can revisit these moments with people and speak about them and not break down and be fully comfortable with it. And the truth of the matter is, what are we 3 years post out of our husband's closets? Even now, there's times when I'm discussing something or a moment that happened, for example, that day, the day that I found out, and I feel it in my heart and I feel it in my gut that I'm suddenly revisiting that moment, and with all the healing I've done, it takes you right back there, and I just thought, I'm so glad that we're finally doing this now, but I'm also glad that we didn't do it 2 years ago, because the amount of healing that we've done in that process and the times you've come out here and visited me and us recounting all of the things that we went through along that journey, I think that now is when, whether it's you believe in God or what I believe in is that we met for a reason. I think all people cross your paths for a
Absolutely.
reason. And I think that you and I met for a reason. And if this is it, like you said, if we can touch one person or help one girl that's out there listening to this, then God bless us.
Definitely when you said we weren't gonna be ready. Y'all, if we woulda did this podcast, what, 2 years ago, it
Yeah.
woulda went like
It
this.
would have just been a cry fest.
His fingernails? Yeah.
And his friends and his family, they said they always knew. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it would not have been pretty.
At all, at all. And, you go through those stages, but we're gonna save that for another day. But you know what? You still, even though we're 3 years of meeting each other, and it's crazy because some people were like, "Oh my god, y'all just met?" No, 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 no. 3 years. There's a lot of people I would speak with and, I said, "Yeah, I just met her on Facebook." And then you went to go see her, like they say on SpongeBob, 2 years later.
But when you share the type of trauma that we share, it's like you don't have to know the person, because
Mhm.
I think you and I both agree that you can tell your friends, you can tell your family, you can share the trauma with a therapist, but nobody quite understands unless they lived it. So,
Exactly.
yeah, so us coming together it didn't matter. One day, 3 years, we shared this commonality of this trauma we had been through, and that's what bonded us.
And I know they have a thing called trauma bonding, and I feel like it's so. And I always hear that it's so negative, but it doesn't have to be negative, because it's only negative if you just stay there. It has to be somehow for us, I feel like it's positive because yes, we've had our moments. We've sent each other messages and we're like, look at this, look at this. And it's like something will trigger us. I personally I said it today. I was telling my friend, I said, I'm not 100% healed because it's at different times. You could be doing cartwheels, let me stop lying. Yeah, I ain't about to do no cartwheels because the next episode is gonna be me in the ER. But but you could be, you know, having a great day and it'll be something that'll just trigger you. I don't care if it's a man wearing tight jeans, that'll trigger me, or even the happier times when we used to go to Home Depot all the time. Like that was hard for me at some point. I couldn't go into Home Depot. Hell, now I go into Home Depot on a Saturday about 11 o'clock because they say you can find you a husband then. But there are different moments, and even having a kid, I experienced something that kind of made me nervous and question just a lot of things. And then you're like, you know what? Let me chill out because it's trauma. It's trauma, and never stop going to therapy. I believe therapy is one of the best, and especially I know in the African American culture, like no, it's taboo. You don't go to therapy. Yeah, you pray about it for sure. God is my therapist, and then God sends like you know a Pam or a Susie. God will send somebody that'll really get on your level for you to understand, understand what you're going through and know that you're not alone. So we're not therapists, but we're going to have some therapists on the show to be able to just kind of walk all of us through whatever we're going through in our side of the closet. And that's why it's your side of the closet because, you can go in your closet and you could pray about whatever you got going on. You could be in the closet drinking. You could be in the closet on Tuesdays. I like to go in the closet and eat ice cream, preferably vanilla with sprinkles, So I don't want people to think that this podcast is just about that. It's about whatever you want it to be. So anybody that is interested on joining and coming on the show to speak about whatever, no, there's no judgment here. There's definitely no judgment here. You are anonymous. You can speak however, whatever you're going through. Sometimes it's good to let it out because if you don't, you'll have gas. That's not cute.
Emotional constipation.
Yeah. So yes, we keep these sessions pretty short just to keep you engaged and just something to think about. And again, we just want to say thank you for these little pitiful episodes that we have going on.
They're not always gonna be a big old hook. They're not always gonna be
Right.
some story where we find out some big tea.
Right. We'll try to make but no, it is definitely we're for the people. We're for all the people. We're for the community. My biggest thing with that, because again, I always want to just let them know like, hey, no one's going after you, but a lot of us are hurt. I have friends, and actually I have a friend who is married to another man, of course, and my kid reached out and they were just communicating. We were all at a dinner and he told her, he says, "I'm a rainbow. Is that okay? Can we be friends?" And she was like, "Yeah, sure, of course." And I feel grateful that I'm grooming my kid to appreciate and love everybody, right? And yes, we're Christian and I'm not perfect. I come from the south side of heaven, okay? But I also don't want to teach her hate. I want to teach her love. You can still love people. I just want people to be honest. And that's why in the first episode I said I cheated. And again, we'll get into that later because boy, did I get some backlash on that. Like, girl, you don't
Yeah.
never, you
Uh-uh.
don't ever, you go to your grave with that one. Hey, I just feel like in case someone comes after me, not in that kind of, brutal way or whatever, but in a way of backlash from a particular individual, I just want to make sure I'm honest, you should be honest. So in that, we're gonna get ready to close. And
Thank you for
yeah,
joining our side of the closet.
tune in. We'll be back.